Not coming here
Honorable
to
member,
be discussing about elections, which
Honorable
are just
member,
about a month
blind
to go.
southeast.
Mugoba Chani, you are going.
Southeast.
Madam Speaker, can we have clarity? What is it that we have come to do? We don't have any constitutional crisis.
Honorable member for Cholo Central. The only person to respond to you, Cholo Central.
Call for this parliament.
Cholo Central.
As a member of parliament,
Cholo
I want to
Central.
understand
Can I have
first,
order, please?
why are we here? Why are we here? We don't have any constitutional crisis in Malawi. We don't have any emergency in Malawi. Why are we?
So, welcome back to the YouTube channel, Malawian Cameras. Awawul, leloli ma MPs, ma members of parliament, anali ku parliament. Kujiwaba mate parliament. Mbajizunga mate parliament. Kizungu jana boya bandega awawul. Anyway, anali ku parliament, kumene yuwa amakarani kote. Amakakambilana za bill amendment ya number 23. Okay. Zutanda zajana zimene zitanda zikuona kuti anthu amenewa amafuna kuti akakonze kumene kupanga amend kukonza bill lamulo la number 23 kuti likuti chani limeneli likunena kuti aliyense akavote kumene analembetsera. Therefore pali anthu awa, pali ma security ogenzito kumeki ngati oyang'anira ma polling staff anthu amacho oyang'anira aja amene azika, you understand, pali ma security, okay, achitetezo choyambiri achitetezo komanso ndiro apolisi amene onena ndena komanso ajawo ma staff amene akugwira ntchito kuchi ndikuja kupita koko ku branch imene kumuvoterako nde kuli ma journalist, kuli anthu ndithu amene ali ngati atulankhani, right? Achina Brand Banda. Okay, achina Kathe Maulidi. Okay, achina Lea Malekano. Jawo buchakaza. Anthu amene ajawo tingwelekeza kuti apita ma polling station ina akeso kumene iwo sanalembetsere. Kodi kumene koko akavota bwanji, akwenera akabwerere. Ndi kumene kuli bill kuti akambirana kuti akuluakulu tisinthe malamulowa kuti amene wawa tiwalole ogwira ntchito kumeki ma staff amene wawa opereka chitetezo ndani amene atchula awonso nde paliso chabota sana ayike ma student koma ma student iso nangasema khala wina akhala aphunzira kudetsa analembesa amene ku nthawi yovota ndi holiday avotera ali kwawo kulilongwe kapena ali ka kunzuzu kunzimba apa ngabanje Blantyre. Anyway, koma amene ma student sana wayikepo angoyika anthu awo. Ndefonso ndikumati anthu amene wawa lamulo sili kwalo kuti avote kumene aliko. Bwanji tisinthe malamulowa ndengani liku parliament tumene. Ngati sitimadziwa ndi zimene ndeye kumene kulizike zambiri mbiri ndikupasana video kuti muonere bwino koma at least pano ndi pamalawa ine camera stimaker zinthu zinchichiwa kuti aliyense amvese bwino mukamaona video ije mukhaya kuti mudzi okay kodi anthu wakutali choncho kwete. Guys, thank you so much. Ndete ndionene for kumene kunali ma drama asiyana ma MP akuti choke mafuta blah blah blah.
Hereby reconvene the National Assembly to meet on 5th August 2025 to consider a presidential, parliamentary and local government elections amendment bill. Made this 25th day of July 2025, signed Dr. Lazarus Magathé Chakwera, President of the Republic of Malawi.
Communication from the chair.
Honorable members, I'll give you a space after my communication. Thank you. Good morning, honorable members. I wish to welcome you all to this reconvened meeting of the National Assembly, which has been convened by His Excellency the President, Dr. Lazarus Magathé Chakwera, under Section 67(4) of the Constitution of the Republic of Malawi, as read out by the Clerk of Parliament in the instrument for reconvening of this meeting. Before I proceed with my communication, as we are all aware, we lost Honorable Joyce Chitsulo MP a member for Mwanza West, who was also the Deputy Minister of Local Government, Unity and Culture. Late Honorable Joyce Chitsulo MP passed away on Friday, 6th June 2025. May I therefore ask the House to rise and observe a minute silence in honor of the her departed soul. May her soul rest in eternal peace. Honorable members, as we are all aware, this Parliament was dissolved on Wednesday, 23rd July 2025, in accordance with the constitutional provisions. However, the President, in exercise of the powers conferred on him under Section 67, Part 4 of the Constitution of the Republic, has reconvened this Parliament to discuss Bill number 23 of 2025, Presidential, Parliamentary and Local Government Elections Amendment, as stipulated in the instrument for reconvening this meeting. This means that the business for this House, honorable members, can I Parliamentary and Local Government Elections Amendment as stipulated in the instruments for reconvening this meeting. This means that the business for this House was already set by this instrument, and all deliberations will exclusively focus on this business as it appears on today's order paper. After the conclusion of that business, this House will immediately stand adjourned sine, and it shall stand dissolved. I therefore wish to emphasize to you, honorable members, that the mandate of this House is to specifically to discuss this bill, no more than that. In this regard, I wish to advise the House that we will proceed with the status quo which prevailed at the time of dissolution, which includes complying with the sitting plan and the House leadership, among others. May I take this opportunity to urge each one of you to actively participate in the deliberations so that we dispose of the business item within the allotted time as indicated on the order paper. Thank you very much for your attention. Member for Blantyre City Southeast, where are you rising?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I would like to understand. I didn't go to a law school. My understanding is that the President has reconvened this House, but the President has no powers to impose a Speaker on us. We need to have a process. We will elect you again, but we need to have a process to elect now a Speaker to lead us. The President cannot impose. Number two, Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, with 1 month to go to elections, we cannot come here to start changing laws that affect elections. We cannot do that. Madam Speaker, I thought my coming here was to discuss about the problems of petrol, where our brothers and sisters have slept on the filling stations tonight, last night, and tonight they're sleeping again. We don't know who's going to rescue us. Madam Speaker, we should be talking about maize prices which are skyrocketing every day.
Southeast.
Not coming here
Honorable
to
member.
be discussing about elections which
Honorable
are just
member.
about a month
Blantyre
to go.
Southeast.
Mugoba Chani, you are going.
Southeast. Honorable member for Blantyre. Thank you, honorable members. As I said, can I have order, please? As I said earlier, according to our own constitution, we cannot be discussing any other matter. It's not me. Whether you don't want the speaker or you want the speaker, you're not allowed to discuss any business to that effect. And it does say that we will keep everything as it was before dissolution. So I presume that the speaker was myself. So I shall continue as your speaker. Honorable members, I'm not entertaining any more point of orders. We're going straight into business. Thank you.
Government Business Bill First reading, Bill number 23 of 2025, Presidential, Parliamentary and Local Government Elections Amendment. Bill was circulated to honorable members on Friday, 25th July 2025.
Honorable members, I said I'm not entertaining anymore. The leader of the House did raise his microphone. I've not given anybody any space. So I'm not giving any space. We're just going straight into business. No. Let's go into business. As long as is it related to the business that we're discussing. Honorable members, can I have order? Yes, can I have order, honorable members? Can I have order, honorable members? Honorable members, honorable leader of opposition, can you please resume your seat? Resume your seat. Resume your seat, honorable leader of opposition. Resume your seat, honorable Cholo Central. Resume your seat, Cholo Central. Resume your seat, Cholo Central. I said resume your seat, Cholo Central. Resume your seat, Cholo Central. Honorable member for Cholo Central, can you, for the last time, resume your seat, Cholo Central? I'm saying resume your seat, Cholo Central. Honorable members, honorable leader of opposition, resume your seat, please. Resume your seat, leader of opposition. Honorable members, can I have order? Even the no. Even the leader of the House raised his mic. I have not recognized him. I've not recognized. As long as the matter that yes, I said I'm going to give you space, but let's start with a business, then you can proceed. Bring in your matters. No. Honorable members, I call upon the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. Honorable Minister.
Madam Speaker, can we have clarity? What is it that we have come to do? We don't have any constitutional crisis.
Honorable member for Cholo Central. The only person to respond to you, Cholo Central.
Call for this parliament.
Cholo Central.
As a member of parliament, I want to understand.
Can I have order, please?
Why are we here? Why are we here? We don't have any constitutional crisis in Malawi. We don't have any emergency in Malawi. Why are we here? We have got crises out there. We've got hunger. We've got...
Honorable Minister of Justice.
Madam Speaker, the bill was not satisfied 28 days notice, but Madam Speaker, because of the agency involved in that others, many people would be deprived of the right to vote. I beg that we waive notice letters and the secretary will be done. And the secretary will be done today, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable members, I now put the question. Honorable members, can you read 67 part 4, please, in the Constitution? Yeah, let me read for you 67.4 in the Constitution. Yes, can I have order? Let me read for you what the Constitution is saying. I will read for you what is in the Constitution. 67 part 4. If between the dissolution of the National Assembly and the general election that follows, the president is of the opinion. So it's the president's opinion. It's not me. That's the Constitution of Malawi, not me. In the president's opinion, that a constitutional crisis or emergency, a crisis or emergency has arisen which requires urgent legislation or consideration by the National Assembly, he or she may reconvene the National Assembly for that purpose alone. But in any event, that reconvened National Assembly shall stand dissolved on the date of the general election. So it's the opinion of the president according to the Constitution of Malawi. Yes, it says crisis or emergency in the president's opinion. So that's the president's opinion, not my opinion. Thank you. Honorable members, I now put the question. The question is that we waive all relevant standing orders as the bill has not satisfied the 28 days notice. Those of that opinion say aye. Those of the contrary view say no. The noes have it and the motion is defeated. Why are you rising? Division granted. Sergeant at Arms, please ring the bells. Sergeant at Arms. Sergeant at Arms, can you please ring the bells for 5 minutes? Honorable colleagues, honorable members, I have the results. The yes, 104, no, 64, abstain, 11, absent, 12. The yes have it. Honorable Minister of Justice, second reading when?
Today and now, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Speak. I now put the question. The question is that second reading of Bill number 23 of 2025 be taken today. Those of that opinion say aye. Aye. Those of the contrary view say no. The ayes have it and the motion is carried.
Second reading, Bill number 23 of 2025, Presidential, Parliamentary and Local Government Elections.
Thank you. Honorable colleagues on my left, can I have order, please? I was getting guidance here that if you read the instruments, it says that the bill should be taken today. So we cannot refuse that. What we have the right to do is at an appropriate time, if we're not comfortable with it, we can. Sorry? Well, that's what I'm being guided, that's what is in the instruments. Honorable Minister of Justice, proceed, please.
The House seeks to amend the Presidential, Parliamentary and Local Government Elections Act of 2023 in order to provide for polling staff, representatives from candidates and political parties and officers from security agencies to vote at polling stations where they are deployed on that day. Madam Speaker, in its present section, in its present form, Section 74 of the Presidential, Parliamentary and Local Government Elections Act provides that a registered voter shall vote only.
Members, I'll give you point of orders after he's taken. I'll give you the point of order. I'll give you Cholo Central. I'll give you immediately after. I'll give you. Yes, after the presentation of the minister, I'll give you the point of order. Yes, even leader of opposition, I'll give you.
There's over 80,000 registered voters. We will not be able to vote and would be disenfranchised. In this regard, therefore, Madam Speaker, the bill proposes an amendment to Section 74 of the Act to provide for the Malawi Electoral Commission to be able to authorize, upon application, a member of polling staff of the Commission, a representative designated by the Commission to monitor the elections, a member of the Defense Force, the Police Service, or any other state security personnel stationed at a polling station to provide security, to be able to vote at a polling station where they have been deployed on that day. Madam Speaker, allow me to invite this Honourable House to support the Presidential, Parliamentary and the Local Government Elections Amendment Bill 2025. I beg to move. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Minister. Honourable Member, or Leader of Opposition, you were rising, you said on a point of order. I give you the floor. Honourable members, can we resume our seat? You can see we're having a meeting. Let's resume our seats, please.
Right, Honourable Speaker. First of all, thank you for granting me the right of point of order. Is it in order that this Parliament was summoned in order to deal with a constitutional crisis which had arisen? Is there any constitutional crisis which has arisen? There is nothing which has arisen as a constitutional crisis. I'm saying this, Right Honourable Speaker, because we had all the time when we were here, why was this issue not raised? One. Two, we know that the military people and others have got provision in the Constitution to vote early, as I know. And three, we know also that people have always had rights in their own areas to vote. Now, what constitutional crisis? Let's not make an abuse of power and also based on your numerical strength. Let's be realistic on the basis of the situation as it stands in the country. When we are talking about constitutional crisis, it should have been a fuel crisis, maize crisis, and other things. but not an issue which has been with us all this time. And finally, finally, how can you introduce this a month before the election? Does it make sense? There is no constitutional crisis. There is something sinister motives. I want to say there is sinister motives involved in this whole issue.
Honourable member, Honourable Leader of Opposition, point of order is a minute. I just wanted maybe to go back again, read what the Constitution says, Honourable Leader of Opposition. Was that time? No. He has asked, I have to respond again. If you go back to the Constitution, not our standing orders, but our Constitution, 67(4, and I'll read. If between the dissolution of the National Assembly and the general election that follows, the President is of the opinion that a constitutional crisis or emergency... No, wait, Honourable Member. Wait for me to read the whole section. A constitutional crisis or emergency has arisen which requires urgent legislation or consideration by the National Assembly. He or she may reconvene the National Assembly for that purpose alone. But in any event, that reconvened National Assembly shall stand dissolved on the date of the general election. Now, it's the opinion of the President. In terms of whether it's a constitutional crisis, an emergency, it's the President's opinion and nobody else. Thank you. Honourable members, oh yes, I know Charles Central had given you the floor.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and I'll wait for your attention. Madam Speaker, thank you very much for according the people of Cholo Central the opportunity. I agree with the Constitution. I agree with you. But we are members of Parliament that are representing the people. Our view is that we needed to be explained so that we are aligned. Number one, we respect the opinion of the President. Number two, we understand it is going to be a constitutional crisis or emergency. We want to be explained so that we understand what is the emergency. Or if it is a constitutional crisis, what is the crisis? So that as we represent our people, we know exactly what is the emergency and what is the constitutional crisis, if any. We represent the people. We are not here under our own right. Our people wants to know what is the emergency or what is the constitutional crisis. That's all we are asking. Once that has been explained to us on what is the emergency, we are free to flow on the floor. But to come to Parliament and then it is just being dictated to us, to then engage in a discussion, it is not right. So, Madam Speaker, kindly take time to explain. Yes, it's opinion of the President. The opinion is on what? Is it a constitutional crisis or is it an emergency? If it is an emergency, what is the emergency? So that then we represent our people very well. I submit.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member for Cholo Central. I'm sure that's a question you have said I should explain. I don't think there's any way that gives provision for me to explain whether it is a constitutional crisis or an emergency, but probably in the explanation either I can see the Leader of the House or the Minister can explain the reasons, but there's nowhere where it says we need to be given as Parliament that explanation, but I'm sure they can give out if they have any explanation, and it doesn't clearly say, it just says if the President feels that needs to be done. No. We are not on questions. If you have questions, then obviously I have to give you. You are asking for a point of order, and no. Honourable Member for Cholo. Honourable Member for Cholo. Honourable Member for Cholo Central. Honourable Leader of the House.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker. Indeed, when the President calls for an emergency sitting of Parliament, he gazettes that for us to first understand. And in the Gazette, the President has stipulated the presidential Parliamentary and Local Government Act. That's the business. Number two, the bill was circulated and the minister has read in the second reading why we have to do that. The Constitution is very mindful on the rights of people. Apart from right to food, right to education, there's the right to vote. And anyone who is a Malawian eligible to vote, registered voter, must not be denied a right to vote. What this amendment is doing is actually trying to come up with a solution to what is a crisis now, because quite a number of people who are Malawians, registered voters, public officers, teachers, soldiers, police officers, will not have the right to vote if this is not amended. The reason is this. I'm holding the floor.
Honorable member,
Madam,
I'll give you the floor after.
I'll
give you the floor after them, Honorable Leader.
In 2022, there was a repealing of the law. The law is very clear. Before 2022, if a soldier, a police officer, or a public officer designated by Malawi Electoral Commission has been given a responsibility at a center where they did not register that particular center, the law then allowed them to get a transfer there and allowed to vote. The repealing of the law in 2022 deleted that very important clause. In this case, these soldiers, these public officers, if they have been assigned to work at a very different center, other than a center they registered, it simply means they cannot transfer. They will be denied a constitutional right to vote. What we have come here is simply trying to do that amendment to allow these public officers to vote at a center they have been assigned. As I sit here, as we all sit here, no one knows where these police officers will be deployed. And if we force them to go and be at the place where they registered, there will be polling centers in this country where there will be no police officers and army officers and indeed public officers. That anomaly is what is a constitutional crisis, because the right to vote for those people has been violated. What we are asking Malawians of goodwill who were appointed in this house is to allow every citizen in this country, first of all, those that already registered, they are not going to do any registration. They have a valid registration card. They are Malawians and eligible to vote, but they have been assigned to go and work elsewhere. Where they have been assigned to go and work, they will introduce their voter registration. They will be checked if they registered. Then the law allows them at that particular time to vote. Madam Speaker, Malawians should debate something which is political at sometimes and sometimes reason. This law is very clear. And because many people are going to be denied the right, it pleased His Excellency to listen from the civil society, to listen from the public, and allowed that us, as members of parliament, we should be called back with an emergency sitting of parliament to consider those Malawians eligible ones to vote. Therefore, there's no any political issue in this bill. This bill is fully to allow Malawians to vote. Now, Madam Speaker, democracy is beautiful. When you have an opinion, express it. But when democracy says, when you are all members of parliament and you can decide by showing your votes and numbers, let us allow that. When you differ, differ. But when it's time to vote, vote so that we progress as a nation. Just because you feel like you can't allow that, that should not deny others as well to vote. Thank you so much, Madam Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. And honorable colleagues, I just wanted to take you back to the communication that was being read by the Clerk of Parliament before I made my communication. And this was from the Gazette notice. I think it was paragraph 3, and it says, and whereas a matter relating to the exercise of the right to vote enshrined under section 40, part 3 of the Constitution has arisen, requiring urgent consideration by the National Assembly and enactment of legislation with respect to the conduct of the forthcoming general election to be held on 16 September 2025. This is coming from the Gazette notice from the President. So he did state the reasons why we should, but obviously when the Clerk of Parliament was reading this, there was a lot of noise, and I'm sure we were not able to pick up that this was already stated. Thank you. So, members, can we make progress? Yes, yes, Honourable Member for Machinga Likwenu, and then there was a Machinga.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity to raise a point of order. I would like to raise a point of order on the question of the right to vote. Madam Speaker, this probably will be our 7th or 8th general election in this country since 1994. Why has this problem arisen? What was happening in the previous elections? These people were voting. The people that deserve to vote were voting under Section 67(3) of the Constitution, which allows the military and the police to vote before the date of the election. And they can vote even now before the date of the election. Why is it that they want this to happen now? Let me explain on the right to vote. Madam, if you transfer somebody from Lilongwe to go and monitor elections in Mzuzu, he can only vote for the president. But the ballot paper for his member of parliament or his councillor will not be in Mzuzu. So his right to vote for his member of parliament or his councillor will not be provided. So we are here only trying to vote for the president. For most people, the person that matters is also his member of parliament that deals with his daily issues in his constituency. So of the three votes that a person is entitled to, this particular amendment will only address one right to vote of the president, but not the member of parliament or not the councillor. Additionally, and this is very important, additionally, when you look at the current provision, we are amending a 2023 law created by this government. All the time, people were voting and there was no problem. They created the problem in 2023, and now it is a crisis according to them. This is not a crisis. The law we are amending today, madam, was created in 2023 when the gentleman right across here was the Minister of Justice. They made this law.
Honourable Member for Machinga Likwenu, I'm sure you're going into substantive debate. I wanted to ask,
is this an emergency or a constitutional crisis arisen, or it has been created? It deliberately created in order to ensure that surreptitious people vote on this day. The ballot papers that were found in Kanengo are the ones that are going to be voted for on this particular day.
Honourable members,
yes. And you are respecting only one right to vote of the president. What about the member of parliament? What about the council?
Thank you. Honourable member of Machinga Likwenu and the rest of the members, can I have order, please, honourable members? Can we have order? Can we have order? Honourable members, I wanted us to proceed procedurally. Can I have order, please, honourable members? Order, please. Honourable members, can I have order on both sides, please? Order. Honourable members, I wanted us to proceed procedurally. Can I have order, please? Please, order. I wanted us to proceed procedurally. I know there's honourable member for Machinga East, Mzimba North, as well as Blantyre City South. I was wondering, and Rumpi East. I wanted us to proceed procedurally. Let me ask the spokesperson from the DPP to respond, and the spokesperson from UDF. Immediately, I'll give you spaces, the honourable members that I've mentioned, to take the floor. Let's proceed procedurally. The spokesperson from DPP, and then I already have Mzimba North, Machinga East, and Rumpi East and Blanta Southeast. I'll give you after the spokesperson have taken the floor. And for those that want to go and have their cup of tea, you are free to go and have a cup of tea. Thank you. A spokesperson from DPP.
Madam Speaker, it seems that
For members, can we have order? Let's hear the honorable spokesperson in silence, please.
Madam Speaker, I waited with bated breath to hear the Honorable Minister of Justice explain to this House what constitutional crisis has arisen or emergency. He missed on that critical point. It took the leader of the House to attempt to explain the crisis. But, Honorable Speaker, there is no crisis. There is no crisis in this country because, as is stipulated in the Constitution, you can make arrangements for special categories of people. And if the people that are being addressed today do not fall in that category, then they are not considered by the Constitution. But the Constitution says special categories of people can vote before. So if there is anyone that needs to vote that will be busy on the election day, the Constitution has made provision for those people to vote before. So, with the greatest respect, Madam, when you have a situation that was addressed fully, if you ask the Honorable Minister, the provision that we are trying to reintroduce today was criticized by the Constitutional Court, by the Supreme Court during the 2019-2020 elections. And we came here to amend the law to comply with what the Supreme Court said. And that's why we have the 2023 law, which we are trying to amend today to revert to the original position that was criticized by the Supreme Court. What is your position, Honorable Minister? This law we are trying to amend today was introduced on the floor by yourself, Honorable Minister. And you are saying now it's a constitutional crisis. And I would like to re-emphasize, Madam Speaker, that the right to vote, I am entitled to vote for the President, but I'm also entitled to vote for the Member of Parliament, and I'm also entitled to vote for my councillor. Now, if you send me to Ntalile, I come from Machinga, the ballot paper for the Member of Parliament will not be in Ntalile. The ballot paper for my councillor will not be in Ntalile, but the ballot paper for the President will be there. That is the point I'm trying to make to you, that we have had seven general elections. Why do we have the price today? Make must have institutional memory of how this matter is managed. You are only creating this situation in order to allow surreptitious voters to come and steal the vote of the President only. That is your worry. It is the presidential vote that is the problem. So, Honorable Speaker, the Minister of Justice has not explained the crisis. The situation we find ourselves can be remedied under the current law, under the Constitution. The people can vote in advance. And the problem that they're saying exists was created by the Honorable Minister that is trying to remedy the situation now. So there's no emergency. Nothing has arisen that is new. They knew all along that some people would have problems voting on the day because they'll be deployed elsewhere. That is obvious. When The people that are supposed to monitor and manage the elections go all across the country, voting in places that are not their homes. We knew that all along. Why is the amendment coming now? A sleeping government or a crooked government? A sleeping government or a crooked government? What is going on? Honorable Madam Speaker, I beg to move that this bill be rejected because it has sinister objectives. Thank you very much.
Thank you, spokesperson from DPP. Spokesperson UDF.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, for recognizing United Democratic Front, UDF, to add their voice on the amendment under debate. Madam Speaker, you may recall that United Democratic Front is one of the political parties which brought democracy in this country. And starting from the time, Madam Speaker, we started voting in this country, we have been seeing men in uniform participating in all the elections. And there are procedures which has been being followed by the Malawi Electoral Commission, the ones responsible for managing the elections, to allow them to vote even before the day of voting. And this is not new to all of us. Madam Speaker, we did not remove any clause when we were amending this bill concerning the voting of these very important people. So, Madam Speaker, I would like to echo to say that I would want to agree with the spokesperson from DPP. Unless if I'm told that the Malawi Electoral Commission, they do have mechanisms which will assist these people to vote for their councillors as well as members of parliament back home. Because they're responsible to vote for councillors and members of parliament is in the hands of the communities around that area. Because they know their councillor, they are able to know their MP, they have listened to their manifestos, and they would want to choose the better candidate among themselves. So someone from another district or another constituency or another ward cannot go to this particular ward and support the communities there to elect a councillor, which will not be, this guy will not be at this particular area forever. It will be a one-off vote and they'll go back to their respective homes. So unless, Madam Speaker, if we are indeed trying to address this issue, we have to address it holistically. That if we would want these Malawians to participate in voting, we do agree with that, but we would want them as well to vote for their councillors whilst they are at working place. We would want them as well to vote for their MPs while at their working place. So we are trying to bring a half-baked law that is addressing one issue, and the other issue is still addressing what Malawians want. So the amendment does not have any clause explaining mechanisms which Malawi Electoral Commission has put in place to assist these Malawians to participate fully in voting for their councillors, members of parliament, as well as their president. So as much as we agree that this is a very important issue to allow those Malawians who will be responsible for monitoring and working at the electoral or the polling stations, but what about the other issues? So, Madam Speaker, I would want to ask this House to defer this bill. We put mechanism that will answer the support of these people to vote for their responsible councillors and members of parliament. We should not do a half-baked issue just because we are rushing. This is why, even at the first time, we did not address this issue because of doing things in a hurry, doing things with the power. The same power given by Malawians. Can we do better for Malawi? Can we allow each and every citizen to vote for their councillors and members of parliament? Why are we rushing for only presidential vote? Madam Speaker, if indeed we are trying to address the constitutional matter, the right to vote, we need also to support these people to vote for their councillors as well as members of parliament. Remember, with councillors and members of parliament, we are using first past the post. So if we are having 20 officers at a polling station and they are voting for a councillor whom they don't know, a member of parliament whom they have never heard about, I think it is now we are creating a serious constitutional crisis, Madam Speaker. With these few remarks, Madam Speaker, we differ. Can we do better? Can we look into these things? How best can we support these people? We should not do things in a hurry just because it is favoring me or favoring the United Democratic Party. No, we are here for Malawians. Malawians are listening. And on the same note, Madam Speaker, yesterday the public was informed. Our Committee on Legal Affairs, they had an interface meeting on the same issue. They called MEC and all other stakeholders. We were expecting to receive a report from the chair of Legal Affairs Committee. But why is it not we are having a report, Madam Speaker? Why is it that we are proceeding without any report, what has transpired during their meeting with stakeholders? Madam Speaker, with these few remarks, United Democratic Front is of the opinion that we reject until we address those issues I have outlined, then we go forward. I submit, Madam.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member for Machinga East. I just wanted to respond to your last part. Honourable Member for Machinga East, we do have a report. I just wanted to clarify, you're saying we don't have a report. And procedurally, you do know that we get the spokespersons first. After the spokespersons, it is the chair of the report to give us a report. So there's nothing that we have not done that is procedure. So we do have a report. So I hope that part of your presentation will be ignored. Chairperson of the Legal Affairs Committee. Procedurally, there's a chair. After the chair, we go to the general debate. Yes.
Madam Speaker, I beg to present the paper standing on my name under item Bill number 23 of 2025 of the order paper. I beg to move.
The Sergeant at Arms. Honourable Chair, do you wish to speak to your report?
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Have the floor.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much for according me the opportunity to present to this August House the report of your Committee on Legal Affairs on the Bill number 23 of 2025, Presidential, Parliamentary and Local Government Elections Amendment. This bill, Madam Speaker, is no ordinary piece of legislation. It seeks to amend Section 74 and 75 of the Electoral Act number 10 of 2023 to address the disenfranchisement of key electoral personnel, namely polling staff, security officers, and the political party representatives who are deployed away from their registered polling centers on election day. Madam Speaker, your committee examined the bill in line with its mandate under Standing Order 159 and in accordance with the referral made under Standing Order 125, subsection 3. Our key tasks were to critically analyze the bill, to identify critical issues in the proposed amendments, and to report to the House on our findings and recommendations. In discharging this mandate, Madam Speaker, your committee engaged in the consultations on 4th August 2025 with key stakeholders, including the Minister of Justice, the Malawi Electoral Commission, the Malawi Human Rights Commission, Civil Society Elections Integrity Forum, Center for Human Rights Education, Advice and Assistance, and Mr. Malawi. These consultations formed the foundation of the committee's findings. Key findings. Madam Speaker, your committee noted that the amendment to 74 proposes to allow certain categories of deployed personnel to vote at their assigned polling stations upon application and presentation of authorization. This includes polling staff, security agents, and political party monitors. Additionally, Section 5 would now require such voters to present both a voter certificate and authorization from the Commission at their polling station. Stakeholders like the Malawi Electoral Commission supported the amendment, noting that up to 90,000 registered voters are typically deployed on election day and are unable to vote under the current legal framework. However, Madam Speaker, several stakeholders raised critical concerns about the limited scope of the amendment. They argued that it is unjustifiably excludes other essential electoral participants, such as observers from CSOs and MHRC, journalists and media personnel, incarcerated or recently released persons who are registered before or during their imprisonment, health workers, and other essential staff deployed away from home districts. Committee observations. Madam Speaker, your committee made the following observations. Limited scope. The amendment exclusively targets presidential elections, ignoring parliamentary and local government elections, thereby undermining the spirit of tripartite elections. Timing of the amendment. The committee expressed concern that introducing a critical amendment less than 2 months before the election could compromise electoral preparedness and implementation. Electoral integrity. The committee emphasized the importance of preserving integrity by ensuring that any deviation from voting at one's legislative center is well regulated. Committee recommendations. Madam Speaker, in light of the above findings and observations, your committee resolved not to support the proposed amendment to the Electoral Act. This decision was made after a vote among committee members, with 8 opposing and 7 supporting the amendment. Your committee recommends that the status quo be maintained. With this remarks, Madam Speaker, I beg to present this report for the consideration of the whole House. I beg to move.
Thank you. Can I get an honorable member from the committee to second the report? An honorable member from the committee to second the report, please. Honorable member for the South, are you rising? Are you a member from the Legal Affairs? Oh, honorable member for Blantyre City South East. You. Honorable member for Blantyre City Southeast, I'm being told that you were not in the meeting. How do you second the report when you're not there? Yeah, but you were not in the committee. Can we have a member who was in the meeting, please? Yes, honorable member for is it Mangochi Malombe? Yes, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and a very good morning. Today is one of the best days in this country, whereby members of parliament, politicians come together. And the only truth, you know, Mangochi Malombe is only speaking about the truth, which was in the meeting. I stand here, Madam Speaker, to second this amendment and to second the report from my chair. As a member of Legal Affairs, I want to second that all what has been said by the chair of Legal Affairs Committee, Madam Speaker, is the truth. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Very much for the secondment. Honourable members, I now call for debate on the report. Honourable member for Blantyre City Southwest and then Rumpi East. Is it on the report? You have the floor, Blantyre City Southwest and then Rumpi East. Southeast. Sorry, Honourable Suleiman. He's the one who raised a point of order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I'm speaking as a member of the Legal Affairs Committee.
No, you said a point of order. You're not debating. If you want debate, it's something different.
The report. Okay,
yes.
Fine.
So if you want to debate, you're allowed. But if you want to raise a point of order, then something different. So are you raising a point of order or you want to debate?
I'll debate.
Oh, you have the floor.
So I'm done with it. And then I'll finish the point of order. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker.
It is 5 minutes.
Madam Speaker, I stand here, Madam Speaker, as a representative of the people of Blantyre City Southeast, and also a member of the Legal Affairs Committee. Madam Speaker, I don't know why the government is so desperate to change this law at this 11th hour. Madam Speaker, we simply know, as explained to both the chair of the Legal Affairs and the spokesperson of UDF and our spokesperson of DPP, that we do not have a constitutional crisis. It's a fact. This constitutional crisis is being created, not risen. Why are they creating this constitutional crisis, Madam Speaker? Yet, in our Constitution, Madam Speaker, under Section 67.3, it gives powers to set dates before the polling day to accommodate all officers that are going to do the work on the voting day. We have seen this happen with our police, army, prison. Why is it a crisis now? Madam Speaker, I feel 67.3. Madam Speaker, as explained earlier, that those people that are going to vote will not have a right to vote for their preferred MP and their preferred councillor. That way we are denying them that right, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, people that know law are this side of the aisle. That side, they're still learning. They must come and tell us who teach them, Madam Speaker. I'm talking of 67.3. Go through it. Madam Speaker.
67.3 of the Constitution?
67.3 of the Malawi Constitution.
Are you sure of that?
I'll have to double check, but yes, I'm sure. Madam Speaker.
Constitution in 67.2.
You can start from 67.2, 67.3. Go through it, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we have evidence. Madam Speaker, we have evidence. We have evidence that the ruling party wants to bring terrorists from other regions and outside the country in disguise of make officers and be thrown into make stations on the voting day to vote for their president only. We have that evidence. That is why the opposition, Madam Speaker, is not agreeing with changing a law just 1 month to election. Even the Constitution does not allow that, Madam Speaker. 1 month to election, we should sit here and start amending election laws. Madam Speaker, as we said, the Constitution already took care of this problem. It provided
Member for Blantyre City Southwest, there's a point of order. Lilongwe Mpenu, koma.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for recognizing the people of Lilongwe Mpenu to bring a point of order. The member who has just resumed his seat has made a very serious allegation, and he claims that he has evidence that the ruling party would like to bring terrorists and participate in these elections. And this is a House of Records. I would like to request you, Madam Speaker, that the member bring on the floor the evidence that he has that this government wants to bring terrorists into this country.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Lilongwe Mpenu. Honorable Member for Blantyre City Southwest, remember that you are responsible for the accuracy of the information you're giving in, and there's a demand from the Honorable Member for Lilongwe Mpenu for you to bring evidence on the allegations that you've. So you need, well, we don't have any other day. We only have today. We only have. Yes, Honorable Member for Blantyre City South. Yes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, as you know, I reside in Blantyre. I can only bring the evidence tomorrow. I have it, and I'll provide it. With no fear, I can fly to Blantyre if you provide me a plane now and bring it, but I reside in Blantyre and did not carry my documents. Madam Speaker, they can also check Presidential Parliamentary Act 62. It also says of what I am talking about. Madam Speaker, we can't come here, seriously, days to go to election, to come here to change election laws. It has never happened. Where is MCP taking us, Madam Speaker? No. Our people, we need to go back, explain to our people that we need to go and change the Constitution. They want us to do this to the Constitution. Let's hear views from the people we represent. Come here and do the needful. Because of doing things in a rush, Madam Speaker, that's why we are here today fighting for nothing. The minister should take responsibility for this. They brought this law themselves. They could have fixed it up at that time. Where was MEC all this time, Madam Speaker? MEC was put in place years back. Where was MEC? They should have seen this and sorted this out. Now, Madam Speaker, we are trying to rig the election using this law. Malawians will not allow. We will not allow. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Member for Blantyre City Southwest, we are not changing the Constitution. I think this is a PPE. The presidential and parliamentary. It's not a constitutional amendment. Thank you. I just wanted to clarify that. Thank you. Yes. The leader of the House and then Zimba North.
Madam. Right Honorable Speaker, there are two things that are under discussion. There was a debate by political party representatives, and then there is the committee report. I know you would still give those that stood even before the report was presented a chance to make their presentation. But for the committee report, I'm begging to move that debate on the committee report be cut out to allow the chair to wind up that debate. And thereafter, you may allow others to actually give the general debate that they want to give. I beg to move.
Thank you, Honorable Leader. And standing as guided, that I did recognize other honorable members, you contribute after curtailment of the report, debate on the report. Honorable members, I now put the question. The question is that debate on the report as presented by the chair of the Legal Affairs Committee be curtailed. Those of that opinion say aye. Those of the contrary view say no. The ayes have it and the motion is carried. Chair, Legal Affairs Committee.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And let me appreciate the people of Blantyre Southeast for their contribution on the report as presented. Madam Speaker, I therefore beg to move that the report be adopted by the whole House. I beg to move.
Honorable members, I now put the question. The question is that the report as presented by the chair of the Legal Affairs Committee be adopted. Those of that opinion say aye. Those of the contrary view say no. The noes have it and the motion is carried. Why are you rising, honorable members? Division granted. Adams, the bells, please, for 5 minutes. Sergeant at Arms, can you please close all the doors, please? Close all the doors. Honorable members, in the morning we couldn't use the electronic voting, but we're now up and running. We can use the electronic voting. So I'll initiate and then we can vote on the electronic voting. We can use the electronic voting. For members, you need to refresh on the attendees list so that you confirm that you are in the house. Members, we should not vote now, but we need to confirm our attendance first, then we'll vote, please. And then we have a problem because of our clerks, the 2 deputy speakers. Can they be assigned somewhere? Because they can't vote. You call them manually? Honorable members, I hope all of us have signed in on the attendees. I hope you have signed in, because we'll be closing next, we will be voting. So I hope everybody has signed in on the attendees. Honorable members, we have 165. No. We have 165 members present, and we are voting on the adoption of the report. Those that want the report adopted will vote yes. Those that don't want the report adopted will vote no. Before we announce the results, we have our two deputy speakers who did not vote. I'll ask them to do a manual. Proceed and ask the... Yes. Malosa, you're saying you didn't vote? To be all of you honorable members, if you check the numbers, 157 have voted, so it can't be true. That's the honorable members.
Honorable Madaliso Gazombo. Honorable Madaliso Gazombo. Honorable Aisha Adams.
Member, I'll check because we do have the list. I'll check if you haven't voted. I'll check because we do have the list. It will show me. Honorable member for Zomba Malasa will be proceeding. He will check if you've not voted because it's given us the list of who has voted. Thank you. Yes, he will check. Thank you. Honorable member for Zomba Malosa, I have got your record here. You voted yes. Honorable members, we now proceed with the debate. The report means has been rejected. Yes, the report has been rejected, and the votes were as follows. The yes vote was 63, the no vote was 94, abstain 2, and 8 did not. No, 94 because we had 93 voting electronically, 1 voted manually. The honorable deputy, right honorable deputy speaker voted manually. No, 1-1. So instead of the yes 62, we had 63 because the other one voted manually. On the no, we had 1 voted manually. That's why we have 94. Honorable members, let's. Honorable member for Mulanje, honorable member for Mulanje, is it Mulanje? Honorable member, is it Mulanje West? Mulanje Southeast. Honorable member for Mulanje Southeast, to begin with, the language you're using is not admissible in Parliament. 2, you can't speak on his behalf. 3, I've got the list here of those that have voted. Thank you. I now call upon those that have shown interest to debate on the bill. Mzimba North, Rumpi East, Mulanje Bale, and Lilongwe Mpenu. And then the minister. Mulanje Bale, resume your seat, please. Can you use a different mic? Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker, and the potential alignment of Malawi Congress Party. Madam Speaker, let me also congratulate Titus Uvalo for being accorded the status of senior counsel. I hope he's advising the government correctly. Madam Speaker, my discussion on this point is, it is a constitution versus the law. In any submission of Titus Uvalo to the court, he has said the constitution is supreme. Madam Speaker, the constitution here has not been affected. It is the parliamentary laws. Now, Madam Speaker, are we in a constitutional crisis? No.
On a point of order, Mzimba North, there's a point of order from Kodakuta Central.
Amazizi.
Madam Speaker, my point of order is based on how Zimba West is addressing the Minister of Justice. Zimba North is addressing the Minister of Justice. He's saying Titus Imvalo, Titus Imvalo. Do we have Titus Imvalo here?
SC.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Kodakuta Central. Honorable Minister of Justice. Honorable Member,
Honorable Minister of Justice, Titus Imvalo, SC. Madam Speaker, I'm alluding to the fact that SCC is a senior advisor to the government. Madam Speaker, at this point, what I'm saying is the Constitution, in any submission that he makes to the court, he says the Constitution is supreme to the law. Madam Speaker, the Legal Affairs Committee has made a submission which has been rejected, fine. But the Minister of Justice, who is an SC, must properly advise the government that Malawi has no constitutional crisis in terms of the right to vote. But the laws which are sub-sector to the Constitution are the ones which are affected. In this regard, Madam Speaker, since the Constitution is supreme, the wording of this which will come here, constitutional crisis, Madam Speaker, that wording is wrong. The second thing, Madam Speaker, there is a statement of images. That also is wrong, because when we're talking about images, we're actually provoking laws regarding the images. If you talk about laws regarding images, we must declare the state of the emergency, the state of the crisis, the magnitude of the crisis, how many people will be affected, and to what level will be affected, and how much government funds and public resources will be committed, and even the period over which that crisis is going to occur. Madam Speaker, none of them have been provided to this House. We don't know how many people will be affected in this crisis. We don't know how much will be affected in this crisis. The Electoral Commission has never submitted that there is that kind of an anomaly. Madam Speaker, the anomaly in the electoral law is not something which is a crisis in the Constitution. Madam Speaker, no wonder people all over in this country and before 1994 have alluded that MCP is a constitutional terrorist under the guise of electoral laws, which is not correct. They rejected democracy in 1992. Now they are coming here to reject the democracy again. Madam Speaker, the Alliance for Democracy will stand firm. The Constitution must be respected. We cannot tear apart the Constitution. No, not at all. Madam Speaker, how much you will do, how much you will rip the Constitution. You have ripped the Constitution of Malawi Congress Party, where the running mate becomes a vice president of the party. You have ripped it again. Don't rip the Constitution of Malawi. It is very bad, and it cannot be taken for granted. And my sister has taken time to defend MCP left and right, making me point of order. What you want to say, Zimba North?
Zimba North, debate on the issues on the floor, please.
Madam Speaker, is a dangerous party. It's a party of killers. It's a party that can kill even Saulos Chilima. Madam Speaker, don't allow them to kill the Constitution of the Republic of Malawi. Our Ford will not take this as a simple thing. Madam Speaker, let the terrorists go to the dungeon. On 16th September, Malawians are answering to the terrorists. You are going to be arrested. And I'm taking over as Minister of Justice, Chimwendo, be watchful. This is a country that belongs to all of us, not to Chimwendo. No, not at all. I am saying this because this is a serious concern. We have ripped the Constitution of Malawi Congress Party. My sister has been thrown out. Now we are ripping the Constitution of Malawi. No, I, for one, even if I stand up alone, I am standing and representing the people of the North. I'm standing and representing the people of Malawi. We fought, even if it is a small party, Afford alone fought democracy and removed Malawi Congress Party. Today, we are witnessing history again, when we are removing Malawi Congress Party from the government again. On 16th September, when you go, Chimwendo, prepare yourself. On 16th September, when we come, Titus Imvalo, you are breaking the Constitution, prepare yourself. We will remove the SC, because the cabinet that is there is a cabinet that must respond to the people of Malawi. We cannot have a cabinet that is not responding to the people of Malawi. Madam Speaker, you can't reject a report of the Legal Affairs Committee. And in that kind of spirit, you can't reject parliamentary decision. Madam Speaker, I'm speaking here for the last time in this session. This session, Madam Speaker, which the Minister of Justice has called for, and in consultation with the President, it has no time
It has no reference. We don't know whether we're debating in the 51st session or we're debating in the 52nd.
Consider winding up, Honorable Member from Zimba North, please.
Yes, in winding up, Madam Speaker, I, as the next responsible government minister, Madam Speaker, all these amendments will be taken over. And as a responsible speaker, I'm commanding Malawi Electoral Commission to relook at the provisions in the Constitution, not to look at the provisions of the law. They will guide them how the voting system will take place. Machinga has debated and explained properly and given wisdom. It's better to listen to wisdom than to listen to junk. Madam Speaker,
few remarks, Honorable
with these few remarks, Madam Speaker, I am seriously issuing a warrant of arrest to this cabinet. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member from Zimba North. Rumpi East. There's a north, or there's a point of order. Rumpi East, before you rise here, there's a point of order from. Please, if you can't switch on, yes.
Madam Speaker, is it in order that the previous speaker is trying to mislead this House that the committee mandate is much higher than the committee of the full House? Is that in order?
Thank you. In terms of reporting, when a report is done by the committee, obviously the House considers it, and the decision of the House is what carries the day. So the report can come from the committee, but the House can decide on what they do with that report. Thank you. Rumpi East.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would like to thank you for granting.
Can we hear the honourable member in silence, please?
The people of Rumpi East an opportunity to comment on issues of the Constitution and the amendment thereof. I would like, first of all, to bring the House back to the spirit of 1993, 1994, when we were framing up the Constitution. The Constitution was framed in a national spirit that was witnessing a new dawn, a new chapter for our country. And when we were framing up that Constitution, we had the sections of the Constitution up to 214. Now I'll bring you back to Section 5 of the Constitution before I go to the last one. That Constitution, Section 5, it is clear that any laws, any act of parliament or sub-laws that will not be in line with this Constitution, that is null and void. That was what was said. Now, when you go to Section 67, it has some supporting subsections that would give clarity to the interpretation of the Constitution. Now, Machinga Lukweno clearly stated that the Constitution was hijacked in 2023 by coming up with a sub-law or an act that today is in dispute. Now, Section 67 of the Constitution, it is indeed giving powers to the President to come up with an emergency sitting of Parliament. Yes, we are sitting today. What is it that we are discussing as an emergency? Many people eloquently pointed out that it is not a crisis, but it is a manufactured crisis that was done when we were amending that PPE Act. Because if we did not amend that, we would not be in this so-called crisis. I'll cite an example. I am the example of 1994. I registered in Malindi when I was campaigning, presidential campaign, and I voted in Blantyre.
because that was where I was stationed. All along, what we have been doing is that somebody could register somewhere there and you could vote somewhere. But there were some more like a sabotage, a political, a constitutional sabotage, that the people came here to amend the PPE Act when they were not supposed to do, because all along we didn't have this crisis, we didn't have this problem. Why are we having a problem today? Because sometimes we come here, we think the Constitution can be amended anyhow. Clarity should be sought here. If we wanted to amend, what is it that
you have a minute to go?
What is it that we wanted to amend? Because if people are going to vote where they've been assigned, if originally it was there, why did we amend the Constitution when it was not supposed to be amended? I therefore would like to say this is not a crisis, this is not an emergency, but a political manufactured crisis, so that Malawi can be seen as if it is in a crisis when it is not in a crisis. So any other law that is not inconsistent with Section 5 of the Constitution, that is narrow and void, and we should not entertain it here. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Rumpi East. Mulanje Bale.
Right Honorable Speaker, good afternoon. I would like to thank you for allowing the people of Mulanje Bale once again to come to this house. We are so saddened, Madam Speaker, as the people of Mulanje Bale, because, Madam Speaker, as a constituency to start with, we have several crises that this government has not looked at them, and it created something that is not a crisis for us to come here. We were supposed to come here, Madam Speaker, for lack of food in this country, for lack of fertilizer. Only a month to rainy season, we don't have any bag of fertilizer on the market. I thought there were other better issues to be discussed in this house than what we are discussing now. Right Honorable Speaker, I've called and I've taken consent from the former Member of Parliament for Blantyre West, who lost an election with 1 vote. And the Honorable Adavua Kaunda won an election for the first time with 3 votes. Then a rerun, he won with 8 votes. I had to bring those examples, Right Honorable Speaker. If you take 50 officers from Deza and drop them in the Kwendeni area and ask them to vote there, those 50 people can make a Member of Parliament fail their elections. And the councillor can fail their elections. Because we have examples of people that lost to come here with a single vote. Right Honorable Speaker, what was supposed to be done was to go to Section 62 of the current PPE and look at the provisions that are there. The only important people that we and the Constitution support are the men in uniform, the army and the police. Those people are already covered. Who are these other important people that we don't know? And where are they coming from? Why should they allow, even Mr. President, why should he allow someone to convince him that we have a crisis when we have no crisis in this country? Because this is a campaign time, Right Honorable Speaker. We are in our constituencies doing campaigns for the coming elections. And the very same people that are competing are allowed to come and tamper with the law. I think then we need to relaunch the campaign again, because we are conflicted people. We are people of interest. We are participating in the elections. We cannot be allowed to come and talk about the elections in the very same house. If the shadows out there are listening, what is happening here is a complete raping of the Constitution. Right Honorable Speaker, I know people out there are questioning this. I'll give you an example. Yesterday, listening from a Facebook page of National Assembly, when the Solicitor General was responding to a question from Honorable Mangochi East, the Solicitor General and the Justice Annabel Ntalimanja actually said, and I quote, "The law, the Constitution will still not change people who vote in advance for the future elections. But for this only election, we need to change to accommodate other cadres that are important. What are we amending? If the constitution cannot be changed and we want to amend the PPE, which is strong, Madam Speaker, I thought even the legal brains that ceased to call us, first and foremost, you were supposed to have a business committee, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we will be in books as the only grouping of parliamentarians that rocked our constitution left or right. Some of us, Madam Speaker, we don't want. We've stayed here longer than anyone ever before, and we are so tired to have stayed here too long, unnecessarily too long, because this government was supposed to be removed last year. But they are here on injury. They are here on injury time, and they want to continue abusing the constitution so they can stay here longer. Madam Speaker, every sensible Malawian is very tired of this government. A lady at the Bingu International Stadium, at the Bingu Stadium, was asked, who are you going to vote for? I said, oh, I do sorry to vote for Jaguela. Are you happy with how he has performed?
Honorable member, you have
I'm quoting
to go.
Thank you very much. A lady actually told a reporter on Times to say, hey, Fusolimendalo, Mwanfusa Majangu, Mwanzizi Musa. Right, Honorable Speaker, if you go out there, carry people to a stadium, and you convince someone that you are for the president, and you say, when this is Musa, it's a signal, Madam Speaker. People are very tired. I would like to tell this government, the sinister moves that they are doing, God is always in heaven. He has never lived on earth. God has never lived here. Us sinners who live here, and he pretend what we are doing is right. Time is coming. Malawians are listening. Let me talk to you, Malawians. This government, with these few remarks, Honorable Speaker, Malawians out there, this government will be removed on the 16th. After 16th, it will be history. And this history will be read and written. And some of you will be running around looking for solace from some of us.
You've exhausted your time,
These few remarks, Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to say this bill should wait for the next parliament. Those that are privileged to come here for the next parliament should amend this, not us. Our time is over, Madam Speaker. We should not eat money on the back door.
Thank you, Mulanje Bale. Mulanje Bale, you've exhausted your time, Mulanje Bale. Leader of the House, you're rising.
Rising. Honorable Speaker, it's a privilege when other people give you time, listen from you. It will be an honor for you to listen to others as well. Honorable Speaker, I'm rising not to respond to any political insinuation, because solely I understand Section 67, subsection 4 of the Constitution, that I have come here for one particular purpose. So I will not be able to respond to any political insinuation, neither any political friendly fire, whatever you call names being mentioned to us. But I would like us to focus on what I've come here to do. Having listened to colleagues, senior colleagues all over, I would like to beg that debate on the bill be curtailed in order to allow the Honorable Minister to wind up. I beg to move, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Leader, I appreciate, but there was one last that I had, the last one on the round that I had recognized. Yes. Leader.
Honorable Speaker, I did not see SG Emeritus standing. I would not even have stood to do that because you had given
recognized him in the round that I was doing.
Thank you.
Before.
I would therefore allow my senior to speak.
Madam Speaker, let me let me profoundly thank you for giving the people of Lilongwe Mpenu space.
Member for Zomba Malusa, what's the problem?
Madam Speaker, thank you for recognizing people from Zomba Malusa. My point of order is it in order that we have been recorded here that we should debate on this bill for the leader of the House to curtail this important debate instead of giving all of us, because you had recognized the first round. I felt like after I had even put my name up that I wanted to contribute, then the speaker, the leader of the House is curtailing. We are going to the same problem that has brought us here. Because before, that was the trend. We used to curtail instead of debating the bill to the maximum. We were just curtailing, leaving others outside. So I thought this is our time to correct what has been happening. Let Parliament give each and every member space. Whosoever wants to speak, let the person speak now than curtailing. Because
thank you, Honourable Member for Zomba Malosa. In terms of the decision of whether the debate should be curtailed, it will be up to the House to decide. But I had recognized Honourable Mkaga, I think on the first round, it was clear that I had recognized that was the first round. And in terms of the leader rising and saying we should curtail the debate, that's going to be up to the House to decide whether we are curtailing or not. Thank you. Honourable Member for Lilongwe Mpenu.
Madam Speaker, let me once again profoundly thank you for granting the people of Lilongwe Mpenu an opportunity to make an important contribution to the debate at hand. Madam Deputy Speaker, Madam Speaker, excuse me, Madam Speaker, allow me to say this. Madam Speaker, allow me to say this.
Members, order, please. Members on my right, order, please. Order, honourable members, order, please.
Madam Speaker, allow me to say this. The Republican Constitution is the supreme law of the land. And any act under it or regulations under the act should be subject to this Republican Constitution. Madam Speaker, the Republican Constitution provides for universal suffrage, also called universal franchise. And by universal suffrage, the Constitution talks about the right of every citizen in the country to vote. Now, Madam Speaker, by this provision of the Republican Constitution, we, as members of Parliament, have a sacred duty to defend, even if it means the right of an individual that has been trampled upon. It is for this reason, Madam Speaker, that I do agree with the opinion of the President that some rights are indeed under threat. Because when you look at what has been presented here, we are looking at people coming from security agencies, members of staff from MEG, and the representatives of political parties that would be disenfranchised if the amendment does not pass. Madam Speaker, every law is enacted to address mischief. And in this case, a mischief has been aptly identified, where we are saying that if this amendment is not passed today, over 50,000 people will not exercise their right to vote. It is for this reason that Lilongwe Mpenu, Madam Speaker, and we on this side do strongly support this amendment. We have to make sure that, as per the provision of the Constitution, every right is defended, every right is protected, and that right, or those rights, should include the right of every citizen who has registered to vote. Madam Speaker, Lilongwe Mpenu strongly supports this amendment. I submit.
Very much, Lilongwe Mpenu. Mangochi Southwest, and then the leader.
Madam, I already moved the motion.
Mangochi Southwest, is it? What's going on with vote?
Yeah, thank you very much, Madam Speaker. The Speaker, who has just resumed his seat, mentioned in his speech about 50,000 people that will be disenfranchised, according to him. Now, my point of order, is it in order that this law is targeting individuals that we believe, and it is being believed that they are the same thugs? The 50,000 people, within the 50,000 people, they are the same thugs that have been terrorizing this country, beating the likes of Namiwa. They want to be recruited under MEC. But is it also, and it is within the same 50,000, we understand that the police officers that are going to be recruited, they are not going to be recruited from the police stations within our constituencies. They will be coming from the area 30. And by virtue of that, these officers are being selected. There is a group, a WhatsApp group, by my Congress party. They are saying, if you are not my Congress party, you are not going to be in this group, you are not going to be recruited. Is it in order that we have this allegation and amidst the passing of this amendment? Is it in order?
Member for Mangochi Southwest, you know that according to our own rules, you're supposed to bring evidence. So all you're saying is allegations and allegations. You're supposed to bring the evidence to support what you're saying. So we don't have any evidence, therefore it is out of order. Honorable Leader, it is 12:30. We will have to suspend proceedings and shall resume resitting.
Honorable Speaker, that's the whole reason I was standing.
It is
to beg that we extend time in order for us. But I still
we cannot extend. It's 12:30.
Right, Honorable. I rose up and you said there's a point of order, but you had already recognized me. Time can be extended.
We have to suspend, Honorable Leader.
All right, you will suspend, but at least give me, you will suspend, but give me time to speak to you.
You, as long as it's not an extension.
No, I am in a very good mood. I will not fight. I will not raise anything controversial because some of you have visited your constituencies and you know what I've done in your constituencies. And therefore, I'm not in a spirit of provoking any one of you. And don't provoke me as well. Because all of us, we don't need to provoke each other. Because you know what the leader can do. But Madam Speaker, why I insist, will not suspend, I will not ask for extension of time. I'm obliged to the ruling of the Speaker. But there are some insinuations that are being made in the House, trying to say that police officers are thugs, that people that are going to be deployed are thugs. Those are insinuations. And while you are making those insinuations, you should be mindful that we are talking about our teachers, we are talking about people working actually at your district commissioner officers and police officers. Right, Honorable Speaker, some of these insinuations about teachers, about public officers, my dear brother,
Mangochi Southwest, Mangochi Southwest.
I'm addressing
Mangochi
the
Southwest.
Speaker.
I've not given you the floor, Mangochi Southwest.
Right, Honorable Speaker.
No, but why are you? If you want to rise procedurally. Please.
Right, Honorable Speaker, it's a plea. It's a humble plea, a very good plea, not to insinuate that the people we are talking about are thugs. And even when the Electoral Commission came yesterday to meet the Legal Affairs Committee, they mentioned, I watched, because Parliament is now online. I even watched what SCC spoke. I watched about everything. So when the Malawi Electoral Commission came yesterday, they mentioned about the numbers. It's about people who are going to work for these elections. Let's not insinuate. I have spoken to the Speaker, and therefore I wish you a wonderful lunch. We're going to be here, whether it's going to be 12 o'clock midnight, but we're going to work. Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker.
Very much, honorable members. I now suspend proceedings. We shall resume sitting at 2 p.m. House suspended.